We have just had a snowfall in every single state in the contiguous United States. This is such a rare occurrence. It has never actually happened in any of the recorded history of snowfalls. 2/3 of the nation is covered by snow. After this, it seems a little ridiculous to be talking about global warming. Scientists may have told you, and researchers may have told you, that anybody who doesn't believe in global warming is a conspiracy theorist or their stories are ridiculous. However, I'm here to prove to you that this is not true. When the facts are really looked at, it's shown that global warming is not what scientists in the research facilities have made it out to be. Because, alright, I'm going to prove this to you because of the emails that proved that the research was being changed, the current cooling trend in weather across the country and across the world, and in the limited effect of CO2 by humans on global warming. Much of what you know, and much of what you've seen, information about global warming, such as graphs or charts, are based on one major facility, the East Anglica Climate Research Unit. They've given information to press, to media, to everybody who will tell you about the subject. And it's been proven that their research has been falsified. A hacker has gained information on their emails and found these quotes to be very disturbing and showing shame. Saying things like, "Mike, can you delete any emails you have received and sent with Keith AR4? Keith will do likewise. Can you also email Gene and get him to do the same?" AR4 is shorthand for the Intergovernmental Panel of Climate Change, Fourth Assessment Report, and this was used in 2007 as a major factor in all of the current climate government laws that we have. Another email stated that the two surveyors that have been at the CRU station for years, if they ever hear about there is a Freedom of Information Act now in Britain, I think I'll delete the files rather than send them to anyone. We also have a Data Protection Act, which I will hide behind. These disturbing words show that they have something to hide, and later emails also show that they were deleting data and had tricks or ways to change the information that they were sending out. If the way that they tested the global warming is a majority through ice cores, noting the temperature and CO2 levels to predict future CO2 levels. These emails stated that they were changing the data and trying to account for different factors that they believed to have happened through time. Now, these factors may have truly changed things, but we don't know that because they have deleted the original data they recorded and destroyed all copies. If we can't trust the people who are giving us our information, why would we be able to trust in the theories of global warming? Currently, and over the past 70 years, there has been a cooling trend in the air temperature and ground temperature of the climate. And over the past 2 years in particular, throughout the entire world, there has been below average temperatures that have been varying since 2008. With the cooling of the globe over the past few years, and the globe having been warming over the years before that, this only continues the cycles of warming and cooling that the Earth has followed since the beginning of time. We have had ice ages and heat waves in the world, and we are late currently on our warming trend. So the warming trend began directly after the Ice Age, and has continued until this point. Only recently has it been the temperatures have started to decline again. The research from East Anglica is, again, a major supplier of this information, so it's difficult to tell whether these warming trends were really as severe as we believe them to be now. And since humans' contribution to CO2, which is what is supposed to be the leading cause of the global warming, which may or may not actually be happening now, seeing as we can't tell because of the fake research. And it's been seen lately in tests that human CO2 is actually only about 2% of all of the CO2 being released every year into the atmosphere. Fluctuations have occurred vastly and greater than what humans have caused over time, and the data has shown to have the opposite effect. When back in the early Middle Ages, there was much higher CO2 in the air from volcanic activity and the like, and the temperatures began to cool around the point that CO2 began to rise. This goes against what global warming believes and shows that it's the opposite effect. Because of all these three things, and the difficulty of the certainty that any of this data could actually be falsified because of the leading climate research unit, it's impossible really to prove global warming. I believe that we shouldn't establish laws or anything based on global warming because we don't know that this is a problem. And there are much of the data and the emails between the units show that they don't believe that it could happen as well. I would like you to maybe do your own research. Look up information from alternative sources, and try and convince your congressional leaders, send them emails, urge them to really look into what they're doing and understand where the climate is going before investing in climate research. Because since climate change is such a volatile state, both with its units, its human contribution, and its fake data, we need to truly understand what we're doing before we invest in global warming. Thank you.